the idea of this is really to see the different, just like the body, when we measure the pulse of a body, that tells us the level of wellness that's in that body. And then based off the level of wellness, we can then apply certain treatments pertaining to what we diagnose. Does that make sense? So now let's get directly into it. Give me, could y'all pull up the definition of pulse really quick? Thank you. All right, reader, let's read the first definition.
Pulse, a rhythmical throbbing of the arteries as blood is propelled through them, typically as felt in the wrist or neck.
So those are the main areas in which you feel for a pulse. It's either the wrist or the neck of the body. That's where it really pulsates. That's main veins and main arteries that go out. So with that said, let's go back to Genesis real quick. Genesis 9:4. Let's read that.
Genesis chapter 9, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall you not eat.
So it says that, of course, we're not supposed to eat it. That is our dietary law. But the point that I want to bring out is that the blood thereof is the life thereof. So without a pulse, you're not alive. And again, metaphorical definition of pulse would be awareness, condition, and survival. So if somebody don't have a pulse, if they flatline, what did y'all say before? Yeah, you dead. You dead. So for us to be dead as a people, what does that really mean? What does that really mean? All right, give me what is that? Proverbs chapter 16, verse 21. Let's get that real quick. Because in today's society, we don't have a pulse. Our pulse is faint to non-existent. And this is based off systematic systems that happen in our communities. Read that real quick.
Proverbs chapter 21, verse 16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
So a lot of us that wander out of understanding, which is God's commandments, his word, his heritage, when we start wandering out of those things, grabbing onto other doctrines, we're in the midst of the congregation of the dead. Read that one more time.
The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
So if you're in the congregation of the dead, that means that you are not alive. You're not aware. You're not connected to anybody, and you're in survival. You're not in survival mode. Because have y'all ever seen a lot of our brothers and sisters that get the bag, they get good money, then they start to disassociate themselves with their own people? They start to talk about their own people in the third person as if they're not a part of their own people. I know, I see it all the time on YouTube. I don't know about y'all. It's a lot of our brothers and sisters that they got money and they disassociate themselves with that. But why is that? Because they're in the congregation of the dead. They are so dead they can't even see self. And watch. Give me Deuteronomy 28:28. It repeats itself over and over again. It's just stated a little different. That's all.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 28.
Read on.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
So the Lord is going to do the punishment for us. He's going to smite us with the madness and the astonishment of our mind. If we think that our history started at slavery and not beyond that, you're astonished. You're calling yourself a color out of a crayon box. You are astonished. You're calling yourself a hairstyle. You are astonished. What is an Afro-American? This is an Afro. What is an Afro-American? Make it make sense. That's almost like saying I'm a dreadlock American. And we will rock it too. We'll be like, yeah, that's us. That's us. No. Read again.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
Uh-huh.
And thou shalt grope at noondays, as the blind gropeth in darkness.
I love how the Lord is very descriptive. He's saying that we're going to grope at noonday. So think about all the sun is at its brightest. And we are groping as a blind man in a bright sky. You know how messed up we are? What is that bright light supposed to represent? The knowledge. We live in the age of information, but why there's still dumb people? Why? It's like the smartphones made us docile, dumb, sottish, stupid, imbeciles in a way. Because we tend to look at our phone and now we're not aware of anything. If the phone didn't say it, it ain't true. We don't read no more. We don't do none of that. We just watch videos. So, read it again.
And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness.
So, with all the information that's out right now, we are still groping in darkness as a people, showing you that our pulse is very faint. We have no sense of awareness. We have no sense of connection with one another, and we sure don't have no sense of survival. If the government were to shut down, I ain't talking about no shutdown with SNAP benefits. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about, let's say the power grid gets hit. The power grid goes down for an entire month. Do we really have survival skills to make a fire, to cook our own foods from scratch, to go out in the woods to identify what is edible and what isn't, to actually plant and garden? Are we really on that level of survival yet? No. And I'm talking about as a people. I ain't talking about Israel. I ain't talking about the repentant. I'm just talking about as a whole, as a people. The first thing that we would do as a people, I would steal from my brother Bez. I would kill my brother Uriel. That's our mindset in the world, showing that we are in the congregation of the dead because we have no pulse. Or, I'm sorry, our pulse is faint. We unconscious. Consciously unconscious. That's what we are. Finish it out.
And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee.
So God has put this curse on us for us to really reflect on returning back to him. He said, you're going to be cursed forevermore. And anything that you do with your hands, it ain't going to come to no fruition because I'm not there. That's our issue. Now, let's jump around a little bit. Let's go to Isaiah again. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 5.
Isaiah chapter 1, verse 5.
Uh-huh.
Why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint.
So the whole head is sick and the whole heart faint. So we understand that goes into our leaders being sick, but the whole heart faint, meaning we are weak as a people because we have weak leaders. But what else does that kind of spill off into? What I want to really go into is, of course, the higher risk of heart disease that's in our community, diabetes, hypertension, and why. The food deserts versus food choices that we do. The lack of access to quality health care and why we don't have it. Environmental health factors such as pollution, unsafe neighborhoods, and bad housing. Oh yeah, we deep diving today. So, going back to the first one with the health. It says that most black communities, correct me if I'm wrong, has a higher risk of heart disease, diabetes, and hypertension. Can somebody explain why? Yes, sir. I like that. We eat foods that we wasn't commanded to eat. Such as what? Pork. That pork and hog maw. Yeah. Catfish. All that. All the crustaceans. What else? And let's get Deuteronomy 28:61 again.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 61.
Uh-huh.
Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law,
Uh-huh.
them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
So every sickness and plague that's not written, God is going to bring unto us until we get destroyed. So the until is that's the scary part. Because until, that's a slow death. It's no different from what it says in Leviticus 26 about pining away. It's the same thing. It means you're going to die slowly. And when you actually see it, it's going to be too late. So that's what we got to get back into. We got to examine that until. Read again.
Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law,
Uh-huh.
them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
All right, so let's get Leviticus 11. Let's get the dietary law to go along with what Brother Berlin said. So all praises. Good answer. I like that. Leviticus 11, start at verse 46 and 47.
Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 46.
Uh-huh.
This is the law of the beast and of the fowl and of every living creature that moveth in the waters,
Read.
and of every creature that creepeth upon the earth,
Read.
to make a difference between the unclean and the clean,
Uh-huh.
and between the beasts that may be eaten and the beasts that may not be eaten.
So God has it in his laws of certain beasts that we can eat and certain beasts that we're not supposed to eat. Let's jump up to verse verse 7.
Verse 7.
Because he did mention the hog. Isn't there a song around this time of year? Greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes.
You know.
Am I tripping? All right. Go ahead, read that.
Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud.
Uh-huh.
He is unclean to you.
So God is clear. He's saying this type of animal is unclean to you. Why? Because he created this animal to clean the earth. Y'all really got to think about it. The Lord created an ecosystem. Within the ecosystem, the animals or plants that's within that ecosystem must supply each other to survive. What do I mean by that? When you look at a pig will eat anything. Think about it like a biomechanical trash compactor. It'll eat anything. It'll eat a dead body. So there's a saying, you are what you eat, right? So if you bite into that little poke butt and that poke rump, you bite into it, what are you? You a pig yourself. You a piggy. But if a pig eat a dead body, what would you eat? You eat the same thing. And see, we don't think about stuff like that. Like, it's cheap. Actually, chicken is cheap. Pork is not cheap. Chicken is cheap. Fish, in certain cases, is cheap. But we got to stop making excuses on not keeping God's law with our diet. So we're not supposed to eat these animals. Why? Because the pig, it actually cleans the land of any decomposed matter. Jump down to the fish. Verse 9.
Verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters.
Read.
Whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters.
That's the key. Fins and scales. It must have both to be clean. Read.
Whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters.
Read.
In the seas and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
Read on.
And all that have not fins nor scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
So give me Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7. A lot of us, well, you know what? Hold that scripture. We're going to finish this, and then we're going to get there. So the Lord has land covered with certain animals on the land where it eat decomposed matter to clean the land up. Then he has the sea covered where there are certain animals in the sea that eats other things either by prey or if it's decomposing, they eat on it. Most things that don't have fins and scales are predatory animals, such as shark. You have octopus. They don't have fins and scales. Orcas. Those are those huge whales, big whales. Squid in the same octopus family. So these things don't have fins and scales. So that means that these things are going to eat bottom feeders and dead carcasses. What is their purpose? To clean the sea. That's their function. That's their God-given role. When God say, I made this and it was good, that means that it was good for its function. Not good to eat. Will I shoot a peacock and eat it because it's a beautiful bird? No. I don't want to mess with the peacock. Let it be a beautiful bird. Leave it alone. But why is it that you can tell that we have Esau's mindset? Because anything that we see that have four feet or it swims in the sea, we think we can eat it. Such as shrimp. Shrimp is a delicacy down here. But all it is ocean roaches. You ain't gonna pick no palmetto from outside. Them big roaches that everybody see, and then when they fly, your heart stop. Yes, no, those ain't. Palmettos are different. Oh. Those like the gangsters of water bugs.
That possum and raccoon big in Alabama too.
Yes, the possum. Hey, bruh. Hey, I saw a possum one night. I was doing deliveries, bruh. I thought that thing was a dog. That thing was big. I was like, wow, I did not know they got that big, like a big rat. Huge rat.
Yeah, because like you were saying, a lot of families in Alabama eat them around the time of Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Oof.
A lot of them. I'm from Alabama. I'm born and raised in Alabama, so a lot of y'all are from them little towns like Selma and Alexander City, where you can throw a rock and hit everything. They eating that.
Y'all eat coon stew and possum and and look, those are rodents. We ain't supposed to eat the mouse either. Leave the mouse alone. Leave it alone. Leave that to Ming Ling them. But with that said, we have to be more conscious on our eating habits. I do want to give me Proverbs now, because the Lord has animals of the land, He has animals of the sea, and He has animals of the air to clean the earth. Let them do their function so the ecosystem of God's green earth ain't affected. Don't eat the shark. Don't eat the whale. Don't eat shrimp. Have y'all ever had shrimp before? Like, I'm talking about like fresh shrimp into an aquarium, or snails. If the water is murky or cloudy, those things clean the entire tank. So they're good to have for filtration systems, because they would clean all the water. Like, I know they have snails sometimes. They'll buy snails and they'll be on the glass of the aquarium. They're eating all the sludge and keeping the water clean. That's their function. But you see these high sedity Negroes eating escargot and thinking it's a delicacy. No, my guy, you're eating snail. That's nasty. You eat snail, mussels, crab meat. All these animals are meant to clean the sea. Leave them alone. Read that.
Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 7. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Read on.
Eat and drink, say he to thee, but his heart is not with thee.
So this goes into, really, wherever you eat, that's what you are. You gotta, if you really love yourself, you're gonna take care of your diet. Here's another scripture. Give me Sirach chapter 30, verse 25.
Sirach chapter 30 and verse 25. A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet.
So if you really loved yourself, you'll apply God's law in having a care for your meat and diet, whatever you eat and to what measure. Now let's go to some feast days, right? Give me Leviticus 23. Start at verse 1.
Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 1.
I got a point to make.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest.
So wait a minute. So these are feasts. So in verse 3, you got the Sabbath day, right? In verse 4, read verse 4.
Verse 4. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons.
All right, so the seasons are based off what? The moon. So that's the feast day, right? Then you have Passover, Pentecost, Feast of Blowing Trumpets, which is a new moon, the 7th new moon of the year. Then I want you to read verse 26.
Verse 26. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Also, on the 10th day of this 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be in a holy convocation unto you. And ye shall afflict your souls, and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord.
Read on.
And ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before the Lord your God.
So how does one afflict their soul? Fasting. But it says that these are feasts of the Lord. So wait a minute. You telling me not eating is also a part of our dietary law? Uh-oh. So this, I call this the Feast of No Bread, or the Feast of Spiritual Bread. Because you're going to get something that day. You're going to be full of the knowledge of God that day. But Day of Atonement is the lack of food. Why don't we profess that in our dietary law? Why not? We like to eat. But the absence of eating is also a part of our dietary law too. When you refrain from the table. We're going to get deeper into it because a lot of us, we suffer from high risk of heart disease, diabetes, and hypertension. I want to pull out a video real quick to kind of go into this. Give me the food desert. Because this is one of the curses of God. Give me Deuteronomy 28, verse 16. This is one of the curses of God.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field.
So there's going to be evil things that happen to us in the city and evil things that happen to us in the field. One of the curses in the city is this. It's called the food desert. And it's going to explain what it is. Read that real quick. Or play that video.
Imagine you're in a desert. There's no water, no food. It's desolate and barren. Unless you find an oasis, surviving would be tough. A food desert is an economic term describing areas where, like a barren desert, it's hard to find fresh food nearby due to poor living conditions. It might be an unfamiliar term, but it's a major issue of economic inequality drawing global attention. In the US, a food desert is defined as no supermarket within 400 meters, median household income below 85% of the federal poverty line, over 30% of households without a car. This is why the healthy food availability is low. The issue of food deserts exists worldwide, affecting both developed and developing countries, especially in suburban and rural areas, not just in developing countries.
See that? Cursed in the city and the field.
Surprisingly, even developed countries like the US, UK, and Japan have food deserts. So how can we solve the food desert problem? For example, communities can work together to adopt better agricultural techniques and sustainable farming methods.
All right, stop right there. Now, did y'all see that it's proportionally decided that food deserts follow where poverty is? Where is poverty mostly at? And what communities suffer more with poverty? So-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's where it's at. So all of us have seen a food desert. Food deserts also are places where there's no real nutrition. So when you go down the street and you see, they also call them food swamps, where it's a lot of eating places, but there's no fresh food for nutrition purposes. So you would go to the corner store right down here, down the street. When you walk in there, all you see is diabetes and hypertension. That's it. It's either chips, cookies, cakes, candy. What else? Soda. Oh, bruh. Jake is bad with sodas. Bad. Fago. Don't get started on Fagos. We are bad with that sugar. We bad. Me included. That's why I gotta take days off. Don't eat nothing. But with that said, these are set up by design. Why though? To kill you. It goes along with what God already told us, that until you be destroyed, that's a process of time. So that means that certain foods you're going to eat and think it's food, but it ain't. It's not for your betterment. It's meant to kill you slowly. So now you may not be eating pork. You may not be eating shrimp, crab, lobster. You may not be eating all the unclean abomination that God says stay away from, but you overindulge in the things you can eat. That's an issue. That shows a lack of care and love for self. Because if you can't control the mouth, what else can't you control? Y'all had something? I see you reaching for your mic.
Yeah, can I get just two scriptures?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jeremiah 29 and 5 real quick. But because she mentioned, she was like, one way to do away with the food deserts is the community come together to plant their own gardens and stuff like that. But the scriptures tell us that that's the solution. Or give me Jeremiah 4 first. Jeremiah 4 and 13 first. Read that.
Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 13. No, you want Ezekiel.
Yeah, Ezekiel, my bad. Ezekiel 4:13.
Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 13.
Yep.
And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles.
So, like the officer said, of course, we know that swine, pork, catfish, all that stuff is against the dietary law. But it also said we was going to eat defiled food. Like most of our stores, like the food desert, you go in there, it might not be against the dietary law, but it's defiled food. Read it again.
And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles.
So we know the class is going into checking the pulse. So the Bible give us he's going to tell you what's wrong with you, and it's going to also give you the solution, right? Now go to Jeremiah 29.
Yeah, it is.
Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 5.
Hold on real quick. I ain't that fast, bro. Jeremiah 29 and verse 5.
Jeremiah chapter 29 and verse 5.
Right.
Build ye houses and dwell in them.
So it said build houses and dwell in them. Go ahead.
And plant gardens.
And plant gardens. So the Bible already give us that solution right there. She said one way for us to be able to sustain in this food desert or this food drought or this famine is to build gardens at home. Who all got a garden at the house? You ain't got no garden at the house, Thomas. You got a garden at the house that you can eat from.
He don't.
Hey, so
it's a food desert over there, officer. It's definitely ain't no oasis. It's a desert.
So if you don't got a garden at home, look into getting it. And it's this guy on the internet. He grows his garden. He in Los Angeles or Arizona. And he grows all his stuff out of pots. Like he don't use the soil there, I guess, because it ain't good. So he grow everything out of pots. So if you're in an apartment or duplex or something like that where you don't have land, look into trying to grow your garden out of pots. Right? Read it again.
Build ye houses and dwell in them, and plant gardens.
Plant gardens, read.
And eat the fruit of them.
And that right there is going to help us with that food desert, read.
Take ye wives, and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that ye may be increased there, and not diminished.
Verse 7.
And seek the peace of the city, whither I have caused you to be carried away captives, and pray unto the Lord for it. For in the peace thereof shall ye have peace.
So if you pay attention, when it comes to the scriptures, I always give you like, okay, this is the problem, and this is the solution, and this is why you're in the situation that you're in. It always bounce back and forth between that. The Lord don't just leave us out here high and dry.
That's it.
It's like, okay, I'm gonna smite you with this, but I'm not gonna tell you why it happened, and I'm not gonna tell you how to get out of it. It always tell you why it happened and how to get out of it, so we don't turn back to it. That's all I have.
All praise. Give me Sirach 31:16, because this is still going back into why. Because in these food deserts, we have to now come to a realization: food deserts versus food choice. Because you can still be in a food desert and eat good, and I'm talking about healthy. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you after the script.
Sirach chapter 31 verse 16. Eat as it becometh a man.
Read.
Those things which are set before thee, and devour not, lest thou be hated.
I like that it says devour not. Who has ever seen somebody that when they eat, they don't even come up from breathing? Like, I ain't gonna lie. I used to play football in high school, and I was on O-line and D-line. And we used to have our own table where the lunch ladies used to come out, and we used to get the big piece of chicken, all that stuff, right? Now, it was this one brother. When he ate, it was like a marathon. The brother was sweating, like he was working out. He was breathing hard. I'm like, bruh, you got to calm down.
So he was eating like the brother off of, what was it, with Damon Wayans?
Oh, yeah.
What is it? What's the name of that movie?
Major Pain,
so
yeah.
he was eating like that.
Yes. All he was missing was the one Tubby Tubbies and the two Tubby Tubbies. Now, but outside of that, I've seen it. And when you see somebody like that, they're eating, and then when something is placed in front of them, they're reaching and they'll continue to devour. It ain't even eating at that point. Like, you're just consuming. You like a animal. It's a sport. Like, I never seen a brother sweat that hard before. He don't even sweat like that working out. That's how bad it was. So read that again.
Eat as it becometh a man.
Uh-huh.
Those things which are set before thee, and devour not, lest thou be hated.
So the things that's set before you, this shows courtesy, one. And two, you're eating those things that are before you. You're not asking for seconds, thirds, and fourths. Keep reading.
Leave out first for manners' sake.
For what sake?
For manners' sake.
For manners. Good table manners, just deny it. Because you know what? You don't want to look like a fat lard bear. You don't. You don't want to look just big, massive. I just gotta say it. Cause we gotta understand this. We got to understand this. Read that again.
Leave out first for manners' sake, and be not unsatiable, lest thou offend.
So that unsatiable spirit is a covetous spirit. And when you eat, you're not satisfied. That's what that unsatiable is. You're not satisfied with what you eat, so you continue to eat and eat and eat more. Keep reading.
When thou sittest among many, reach not thine hand out first of all.
You see that? This is table manners. When we are sitting amongst each other, let's say, I invite y'all out to eat, brothers. And then I bought everything. We had a spread laid out. Where actually it's going to be two things that happen. You're either going to wait for the host to say everybody can eat, or you're going to see who is the ninja that's about to try to get the food first. And then everybody going to look at him and be like, Who invited this guy? Who is this guy? It's showing you have bad table manners. And it was I ain't want to show it, but it was this one brother I saw on TikTok. This man is massive. I'm talking about big, like big. And he eats like checker burgers, bro. Like it's little biscuits. It's crazy. But he actually this is Jake. And he actually been on the wanted list on DoorDash for stealing people's food. I kid you not. Like, this is a real thing. And he is that big. And he asks people in his super chat to donate money so he can just eat. And they do it. Showing you that this eating too much, it shows that you lack a care for self. Because the more weight that you hold on your body, your bones can only take so much before it give out. It's gonna be like, hey, we need to lose some of this visceral now. I can't hold you up. You gotta burn some of this visceral fat some type of way. You either fast it off or you work it off. Now this brother, I think he was like 500 plus pounds, but he was still moving around. But he's saying, oh, my joints, my this, my that. But you're still eating. So that unsatiable appetite leaves you very, very, very sick in the mind and sick physically because it shows. Keep reading.
A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured.
Read on.
And he fetcheth not his wind short upon his bed.
So that very little means that we don't need to eat a lot. You can eat a little bit or in increments. You don't have to eat a lot to be well nourished. Then it says he fetches not his wind short upon his bed. That fetching his wind is passing gas. You ain't gonna be sleeping and blowing it up, creating Dutch ovens and everything. Nah, you ain't gonna be doing that because your body has time to clean itself out. Remember, God created our body to heal itself. You just got to give it time. And when you're in a fasted state, your body actually, it forces a gene to turn on in your body to heal. Anything that's damaged or broken in your body actually heals it. And it cleans your mind out. Keep reading.
Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating. He riseth early, and his wits are with him.
Read on.
But the pain of watching and choler and pangs of the belly are with an insatiable man.
So an insatiable man or woman always have stomach issues. You know why? It's taking a lot of energy to break all that food down. And now you got the grumbling and the rumbling in my tummy, and this is why. Yeah, right. Gonna be on that porcelain throne for a while. So that's why we have to refrain from overeating. Now that goes into food deserts as well, but food choices. There's people on TikTok. I showed Officer earlier. Y'all know it's a thing on TikTok where they're going to Dollar Tree and making gourmet meals. Yeah, you said how, sis? How? They have, in all Dollar Trees now, they have a frozen section. In that frozen section, you have frozen veggies, frozen meats. They have, I don't know if it's real, but they had what is it, steak in there. Yeah, I know, right? Dollar Tree steak, right? Yeah, it ain't steak. Yeah. Hey, sis, hey, it's the defiled meat. Hey, that's what it is. We know it ain't real cow. We know that. But these people make it a goal to go into Dollar Tree and make gourmet meals. Y'all can look this up online. I want y'all to. And these meals be looking fire, like actually good and edible. They have a full course meal where it's their protein source, veggies, and then a carb or a starch. And they'll fix it up from a food desert. So it's knowing how to eat now. Now you got to know, okay, since I'm in a food desert, now I got to scavenge for food. I got to really look and make my food choices conscious. So to the point I'm not just eating junk. I'm not saying, oh, McDonald's just right there so I can get it. No. You have to make better choices in what you eat. Also, another issue is a lack of access to quality health care. Let's see this footage. Give me the one where the brother is in the hoodie. I want y'all to listen to this, because this is why we don't have universal health care in the United States. It's because of Israel. And watch, he gonna explain it.
Hey, good morning, Nikki Haley. Remember when you said that America is not and has never been a racist nation? Well, if that's the case, why don't we have universal health care? The answer is simple. Racism. See, in the 1880s, white America had a problem that they just couldn't solve, which they called the Negro problem. They said that in 1865, we whites gave the blacks their freedom. And we also passed slave codes, black codes, and Jim Crow laws to prevent their upward mobility in this country. And now here we are in the 1880s, and we don't understand why these Negroes haven't done anything with themselves. We gave them their freedom. What more do they want? And white people at the time said, well, you know, they're genetically inferior to us. So if we simply deny them health care, they'll die off in a generation or two. And that will solve white America's Negro problem. Don't believe me? Watch this.
It really began in the 1880s, 1890s, when medicine became a thing. And there was this guy named Frederick Ludwig Hoffman who came over here from Germany. And he was a young man. He was 17, in fact, when he came over, and was a numbers genius. And he hooked up with the Prudential Life Insurance Company, ended up being a vice president. And he was the guy who figured out that there was an association, a statistical association between working in a cotton mill and having lung problems, asbestos and mesothelioma, smoking and lung cancer. He published on that in the 1910s, in the 1890s and the 1910s. And diet and cancer. In fact, his book on the association between a high processed food diet and cancer is still in print. And he's been dead since 1946, but his book is still around. So he's really smart in these things. And so he married this Southern belle from Georgia who was from a racist plantation family. And so he ran the numbers on black people and found that black people were dying, dropping like flies, more likely to be sick, more likely to die of pretty much everything, and concluded, which was the general consensus at the time among a lot of white people in the South. This is again in the 1890s.
So y'all got to really think about it. This is an assessment of slave masters talking about us, saying that we'll die from anything. This is us being in the fields from sun up to sundown, being into real bad conditions, and they have the nerve to say, oh, yeah, they'll die of anything. Nah, we was being overworked. We was being overworked, and we died from exhaustion and stress of the job. Not because we was weaker, because there was one account that one Edomite actually got put into slavery, and he got whipped one good time and died. They gave him 3 lashings, and he died. And these are the people to say that we are weak. All right.
I was at work. I want to give a story real quick. I'm at work, right? And I work with I was training with this Edomite, and he was like, man, the sun is just doing me bad, man. It's like it's aging me and this and this. And I'm riding the passenger seat. He driving and talking. He was like, what you do? I was like, nothing. He's like, what do you do to keep the sun from just burning you up? I was
just
like,
be black.
I was like, I don't do nothing. Like, it's too bad for you though, because he was like, man, it's giving me like what they get like those spots on them.
Yeah, sunburn.
And all in their face and stuff like that. He was like, man, I don't think I'm better to make it these next couple of years. I'm trying to retire, make it to retirement. I was like, yeah, I don't do nothing, bro. I ain't got nothing for you. I just be black, I guess.
And it's pretty funny that you mentioned that, officer, because the term colored folk was coined by them. But they really turn the colors of the rainbow. When they hot, they orange. When they red, they mad. When they green, they sick. When they blue, they either dead or ain't breathing right. What other color we got? Purple, they got beat up. I mean, they really the Skittles of everybody. They are the rainbow. They're the people of the rainbow. So I would say they're the real color folk. That's just me. But yeah, let's go ahead.
That black people were genetically inferior. And in 1896, he published a book called Race, Tendencies, and Traits of the American Negro, in which he lays out all the numbers, and then he concludes that if we simply avoided allowing black people to have any access to health care, that within 2 or 3 generations, the whole race would die out, and that would solve the race problem in America.
Stop.
Now, it sounds kind of crazy when I just...
So, go back. I missed it. He talked too fast. What did he just say? You got to go back just a couple seconds.
In America. Now, it sounds kind of crazy when I just lay it out like that right now.
Go back. Yeah.
Avoided allowing black people to have any access to health care, that within 2 or 3 generations, the whole race would die out, and that would solve the race problem in America. Now, it sounds kind of crazy when I just lay it out like that right now, but this led to a whole bunch of things. By the 1920s, this was referred to as scientific racism. He was testifying about it before Congress. When Teddy Roosevelt, 1912, proposed a national health care system, people said no because black people will get it. When Franklin Roosevelt proposed a national health care system, it was the same thing. We don't want black people to get it. When Truman tried it in 47, same thing. Don't want black people to get it. Right up until 1965, Senator Stennis, the Dixiecrats from the South, was quoting Hoffman, who was by then dead, but is still very famous in this field, as saying this, we have to figure out a way to keep black people from using Medicare. This is when they were passing Medicare. And the way that they came up with was to have a 20% hole, a gap in Medicare, so that you had to pay 20% of your doctor's bill and your hospital bill. And that would discourage poor black people from showing up at the hospitals.
Stop.
I mean,
so any Negro that say that we're not in systemic racism, you are an idiot and a half. Because these systems was not created for our benefit. These systems was created for our detriment. Heck, we're a part of the system.
And what they just said is my uncle going through that right now.
See?
Is that he has bone cancer. He had to go to the nursing home. But in order for him to stay at the nursing home, he got to have a certain amount in his bank account. If it go over $2,000, they would kick him out the nursing home, because that's the Medicaid rules. Medicare rules.
That's that 20%.
At 20%.
And heck, most of us in here going through it. That's why now you're seeing why a lot of our people are not insured. Because it was a system created against us. Finish it out.
And it was the most shocking thing I discovered, Cenk, when I was doing the research on this book, is that nearly 100% of the reason why the United States is the only country in the world that doesn't define healthcare as a right and doesn't have any sort of national healthcare system to speak of is because of racism.
Stop right
and
there.
That's why.
So because that we're here, the children of Israel is here, they would kill their own just to get us. What is that saying? Cut your nose to spike your face. That's what they're doing. So give me Lamentations chapter 4, verse 17.
Lamentations chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help.
Read on.
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
So the nation of Esau is not here to save us. That nation is really for our punishment. God is using them as a whooping tool to get us back in line to keeping his commandments. That's really their whole purpose. They're God's belt. And it is belt to behind right now to Israel. Keep reading.
They hurt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets.
Read on.
Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come.
So they did this to take over certain towns that we had ownership of. They're doing this in the healthcare system to make sure that we don't get certain coverages to benefit ourselves. It was one Edomite that said that if black people really wanted to shut this country down, like actually hit it in the pockets, everybody need to be on life insurance. As he said, if Pookie and Ray Ray get shot, and now that life insurance policy got to come out, and they got to keep paying for all these deaths, they're gonna lobby to create laws to say, we need to stop doing this. We need to up the police because we're spending out too much money. Do we think like that though? Nah, we don't. Because that's the pulse of our community. We are unconscious right now. We're asleep. Give me that next video about the pregnant lady. Just to go further into the healthcare system, how messed up it is. Because I had to find out firsthand, it ain't healthcare, it's wealth care. It has nothing to do with your health. It has everything to do with how big the bag is. I had to talk to a hospital administrative officer because I had somebody in the hospital too long. And the insurance was not going to pay because they wasn't making the situation better. So the insurance was like, hey, what we paying for? Y'all either need to increase the medicine to make this person better, or we can't pay y'all. And if anybody go to the ICU, you have 4 days. 4 days before you up out of there. Either you you dead, or you're in the general population. You have 4 days. Because every time a head hits that bed, they get paid heavy money. That's why I'm telling y'all, it's wealth care. I ain't saying don't take your prescriptions. I ain't saying none of that craziness stuff. Don't even misconstrue what I'm saying. But what I am saying that this is a system that is pitted against you. You had something?
Yeah, also, it was a sister in the body. I won't say it was, but she married, and she had an issue, like when she get pregnant, she gets like very malnourished. She can't keep no food down and stuff like that.
Right.
So they had to give her like a some type of machine, and it's like hooked to like some type of cord and a needle, and it's like always in her stomach, and it's like pushing the
like
the
dialysis.
I don't know what it was, but it's pushing the medicine in her stomach to where she can keep food down. And she had it so long that insurance ran out. Like she was losing like 15 pounds a week without it.
Dang.
So they once the insurance ran out, they was like, hey, we need our machine back. And it's like, well, the brother was like, listen, like my wife can't live without it. They was like, sir, we need our machine back. You know what I'm saying? Your insurance is not covering it no more. And brothers know here, I don't know, I think brothers see me eating sunflower seeds all the time. And I think I had
that
some
salt?
sunflower seeds, and I gave them to her, and she started eating them, and she was able to keep her food down. So the sunflower seeds kind of saved her to where she can kind of keep the food down. But it goes back to what you were saying. They didn't care that their sister was losing 15 pounds a week. They needed their money.
That's it. And these are the hard truths that we have to understand. That we're living in a system that is not for us.
But the sisters, like I want to ask y'all sisters something. Do y'all watch the history on like how they come to terms with the like, you know, what it's called when y'all go to the OBG and they got to check you and stuff like that, and just C-sections. Do y'all know the history on that stuff? Y'all do? Like so y'all was the test subjects back in slavery, this like the 1800s. They was figuring all that stuff out. So they figure when you watch this video, it's the same spirit. You're going to see it. The same spirit that was on them back then is on them now. Because I guess they figured y'all can, you know, endure that type of pain and sit there and, you know, be screaming to the top of your lungs. They just did not care. You'll see when it starts. But if y'all have not seen that history or don't know about it, go back and read on it. There's a lot of information that ties back to them basically using y'all like guinea pigs, you know, when it comes to the stuff y'all have to go get your checkups and all that stuff like that. So yeah, if y'all don't know about that history, go look it up. Go look it up. It's very interesting.
It's medical apartheid.
Medical apartheid. There you go.
All the different medical advancements we were the test dummies. Without anesthesia, without the medicine to dull the pain, they just operated on slaves, did mad science experiments on us, and the women, yeah, they really messed up our sisters. They messed y'all body up to try to understand, okay, how does this work? What is this? What is that? Because they thought of us as subhuman. That's in their science. That's why their science is opposed of God. That's why it's called pseudoscience, where Paul say science falsely so-called. That's pseudoscience. All this Big Bang and all this stuff, it's false. It goes against God.
Mounting concerns over this video that appears to show Carrie Jones in active labor at Dallas Regional Medical Center in Mesquite, Texas, last week.
Y'all treat all your patients like this or just the black ones?
Jones's mother posting the video on social media.
I said, can we get her into labor and delivery? She said, no, we have to fill out all this paperwork.
The family alleges hospital staff delayed Jones's care for more than half an hour. In a statement to NBC News, the medical center says in part that we are committed to providing compassionate, high-quality care to every person who comes through our doors.
Stop.
And we are reviewing this situation.
Except that lady. That's what I hate about PC people. That politically correct, you ignore what happened just to make a statement to the people. But we're in the age of the internet now. Once something goes viral and it's on the internet, everybody named mama gonna have something to say. Everybody named mama gonna have receipts about how evil this hospital is. And they even knew not to go to this hospital. They knew that. But they went anyway because it was an emergency. And I know some of us in here, we know it's like certain hospitals you like, nah, you don't go there. It's like if you shot, like I know in Atlanta, if you were shot or stabbed or something like that, Grady. No, Grady was known for that. But anything else, you may not want to go to Grady. Yeah, Grady was not. They changed now, but it was a bad hospital. But everybody in their city has a hospital where you stay away from it. This was one of them. Keep going.
Situation to understand what occurred. In the U.S., black women report facing disproportionate levels of unfair treatment in healthcare settings and are 3 times more likely to die from a pregnancy-related cause than white women. In
Why
Ground
is
Point,
that?
Indiana.
Because of the unfair treatment. That's why. And this is another sister. Please go back. Yes. This is another sister right here. So the first sister that we saw, that was somebody else. This is somebody else. Read that. I'm sorry. Play that.
Another alarming video. Mercedes Wells says she sought care from Franciscan Health Crown Point Sunday. She says they sent her up to triage, where she labored for 6 hours and a nurse gave her a checkup.
After she finished, she said, well, if you're not further along and you're not past 3 centimeters in the next 2 hours, then we're going to discharge you.
Wells says she never saw a doctor, and minutes after being discharged, she gave birth in the car. How did it feel after you gave birth? Not at the hospital, but in your car?
I felt like I was put out on the street.
Did you think you could lose them?
I did, and that's what.
Hold it together.
That's what messes me up.
The hospital's president and CEO, Raymond Grady, says in part, we must fix what we failed in our hospital. The physician and the nurse directly involved with Mrs. Wells' care are no longer employed by Franciscan.
Stop. So I want y'all to really look at this. Do they really care? No, they don't. The only time that this person is fired is when it gets pressed. That's the only time that they step in. But if this was said amongst the community and reported up, they wouldn't be moving like this. They would not move like this. This is the only reason that they move like that is because cameras are watching. So, as you heard, it says that our sisters are proportionally disenfranchised at the hospitals. And why is it that a lot of our sisters die? Because they just do whatever they want to do to y'all. They have old science that say that we have a higher pain tolerance than other nations. So that means that you can torture or apply more things on them. That ain't true. Pain is pain. I don't know where y'all come from. Right. Pain is pain. It hurt or it don't. And sometimes you have some of our people in the midst of that where they don't care. But then if it was Becky, Susie, or Suzanne, oh no, take her in the back. She ain't even dilating, nothing happening to her. So it just shows you, yes, this system is pitted against us. You had something else, real quick?
Yes. Hey, that very important that we are, as we're growing as a nation, we should be sisters like that, become nurse and doctor, stuff like that. Hey, let's go to Exodus chapter 1, verse 15. Because they do not care about our people. That's why it's very important to us. We got to repent and start caring about our own, take care of our own. It's 1 verse 15 on down to 17.
Exodus chapter 1 verse 15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared God, and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive.
You see that? The midwife fear God. Them people right there don't fear God. But as a nation, we fear God, and we're going to help our people out. That's sad there. Can you understand the husband was there? He would have cut up.
Yeah.
Should have cut up.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you off experience. When the husband cut up, they want that. Because they want you to go to jail. Like, fun fact, I had to cut up one time. I had to cut up in the hospital. It was some crazy stuff that happened. And the security guards came out. And when they came out, you know, they grabbed me, all this stuff. And right when he grabbed me, I was like, oh, this dude is weak. Like, it's the Edomite. He said that, it's funny. He says, Lord, give me patience, because if I had strength, you'll need bail money. Because it's certain things, when you get pushed to certain lengths, yeah, they wanted the husband to cut up. So when the police had to come down, I had to explain what was going on, and come to find out they removed the other person away from the situation. But I had that happen before, where it was a situation, a medical situation like that, the family trying to cut up, and I wasn't having it. So they want that, to separate that man from that woman, because they hate the man being in the midst with the woman. And sisters, that's why we all hedge, because they hate that. When you're in pain, you're going to say anything to get out of pain. They know that. That's psychology. But if a man is there to logically reason with what's going on, he's going, hey, well, you talk to me. And because he sees his wife is giving birth, he's going to give the best answer suitable for both of y'all to live out of that situation. So they hate dealing with the man. That's why they love dealing with y'all. So that's why y'all shouldn't be going alone. That's why giving birth, you should be what? Married, not single. That's why they treat our sisters crazy. And these were married sisters.
Hey, also, their numbers is going down. The white people, Esau, their numbers are going down.
That's why they're intermingling with Jake, silly women, because they know that their numbers is going down. So all these swirling couples, miscegenation, jungle fever. Give me Deuteronomy 7:3 real quick. We are not supposed to do those things. And Esau knows this. That's why they're pushing it in the media, to be with different races. And it's always a black woman with a white man, and then a black man with a white woman. Why? Why they keep pushing that in your face? Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
Read.
For they will turn away thy son from following me.
That's the point. That's why we're not supposed to give our daughters and our sons to the other nations, because we're inclined to follow their ways when we're married to them. That's why you would have certain individuals of our community that marry Edomites, and now they're in Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween. They're celebrating all the holidays of the nations and not celebrating nothing that the Lord created. So God knows what this has nothing to do with, oh, you hate people. No, God set that up for the nation of Israel to strengthen themselves within his law. That's the purpose of strong marriages. But when you have mixing going on, we lost another one. We lost another one. Oh, Drewski, yeah. Yeah, he did. Lost another one. And that's right. Because when we lose our brothers and sisters to the other nations, they're in a lot of foolishness at that point. 2 videos, actually. Broken window theory, and then the lady getting pancaked. And I say start at, I think, 35 or something like that. So this is a theory that is known throughout the earth, but it only happens in our communities. Go ahead.
As a youth. The idea of this theory is that when we see things that are broken down, we feel like no one cares about them, and thus we can further violate them without repercussion because obviously nobody is looking after it. Therefore, no one is going to care if we break it further. For example, if we came across a building or a car with broken windows, if we were interested in breaking windows, this could be a great opportunity because someone else has already started the process and nobody has taken care to clean it up. So we could do it as well without getting into trouble. Applying this to crime in general, then.
All right, stop right there.
Crime is trouble.
Let's apply that to people. If a people is broken, just like this glass, and they're left unkempt, other nations are more inclined to abuse these individuals. Abuse them financially, socially, and sexually. They will go into those broken homes and abuse them families. You know what main thing comes out of broken homes? The prison to pipeline system. They love broken homes because of that. It fuels the sin in this economy. The dope, the drugs, the jail, the lack of structure and connection of the people. Like I mentioned at the beginning of class, if you don't have a pulse, you don't have no connection. If you don't have a pulse, you don't have a meaning of life in you. And you're in the congregation of the dead, meaning you're in the midst of sin. So they know that sin or breaking of God's commandments causes us to be disenfranchised, weakened in our estate here. They understand that, and they use that against us. Go to Isaiah real quick. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 6.
Isaiah chapter 1, verse 6. From the sole of the foot, even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises.
Wounds and what?
But wounds and bruises.
Meaning that no healing. Read.
And putrefying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither modified with ointment. Your country is desolate.
So stop. So these sores that's within our community have not been healed yet. We just saw about healthcare. Why they don't have universal healthcare in the United States? It's because God's children are here. The devil's seed don't want to support God's children in health. They don't. They don't want to see you have good, successful families. They don't want to see you have good, strong children. They don't want that. Because the moment that you have good, successful, strong families, they know that their end is near. because their numbers are dwindling. They know that. Read again.
From the sole of the foot, even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores.
So that soundness, meaning it's no wellness within the head. That goes also into our leadership in our community. We have no real leaders. We have I'm gonna just speak plain. We have overweight sisters with different colored dyes in their hair trying to be the forefront of the black community. Sit your behind down. You ain't leading nothing. You can barely lead your house. That's why men are needed. Because these sisters are struggling out here. They are struggling. And like Kevin Samuels used to say, winter is coming. Nah, winter here. These sisters know they cold now. Because they're undesirable. Because they are not operating out of a sound mind. They're operating out of the mindset of Babylon the Great. Oh, girl, you precious. You can't do nothing wrong. They don't understand that was a game. You know what it's called? Pandering. Judah, we be saying Judah simp. No, Judah was pandering to the women. Judah knew it wasn't true. But to get the goal or to get the cookie, you say what you want to say just to get the cookie. Once you get the cookie, up, on to the next box of cookies. Yeah, sing that loving song. She, ooh, I'm the only one. That he was pandering to you. He was filling your ego up. Then when he got what he wanted, now you left alone. Alone, ashamed. That's called pandering. So that means that they use your own ego against you. Now, Benji, on the other hand, oh yeah, they be simping. They be simping. They be simping, bro. All right, go back to the scripture.
From the sole of the foot, even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither modified with ointment.
Why? Because these other nations benefit off that. Read.
Your country is desolate. Your cities are burnt with fire.
Read on.
Your land, strangers devour in your presence.
So in our own land, the strangers devoured. And let's flip the table with Northern Kingdom. This was my land. Strangers forced my brothers of Southern Kingdom to till the land and then eat amongst my fruits into their mouth. That is crazy. And we just abide by this sickness. That's why I'm telling you, the pulse of our people is sick. It's in critical condition right now. And the only thing that can really get us together again is the word of God. That's it. Finish that out.
Strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolate, as overthrown by strangers.
So it is overthrown by strangers. But what does this go into? When you read at verse 4, it says, "Ah, sinful nation." So the nations only have power over us due to sin, breaking of God's commandments. And the breaking of God's commandments causes the diseases in our community.
Across the earth, the prophets move. From city streets to distant lands, the message is the same. Israel must rise. Through every quest, every journey, the truth spreads. No border can contain it. No distance can silence it. Our nation lives in every moment. In joy, we celebrate marriages. In sorrow, we honor our dead. On the Sabbath, we gather as one. Families rejoicing together, bound by the commandments of God. Yet are we tried. From the stones in Kenya to the hatred in Montana, we endure as a soldier of the Lord. And still, the mission expands. On the airwaves, on the screens, in every nation under heaven, Israel's voice is heard. We build our communities. We raise our children in royalty. We restore what was broken. We clean what was defiled. We show the world united in Christ. Nation in motion. Nation endures.